Hi everybody, how you doing? I'm Pabs, the Rising VTuber and artist, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of animation work. Let's head out right on over to the working screen. I don't have that much of a preamble. I guess the only thing to really say is that I had the chance to get the EX version of Clip Studio Paint back when it was on sale. So I took that opportunity to... Wait, is it the EX or the Pro? I think it's the EX. Yeah, I got the EX version of Clip Studio Paint, so I've been itching to kind of expand my capabilities of the animation. There was a time I did one of my props, the chainsaw arms, with the Clip Studio Paint animation capabilities, but because of the limitations, including not being able to export it to GIF or GIF, I say it GIF more often than not. Anyway, I had to jump through several hoops to get it working. Yeah, today we're going to actually be trying to do a walk cycle. So some of you might know the game Dragon Ball FighterZ or Dragon Ball Z The Fighters. I'm not sure, the fighting game based off of Dragon Ball. So there is this funny little walk cycle for a character called Gotenks. And I always pictured my walk cycle, if I ever had one. If Pab's got a walk cycle, this would probably be what it looks like. So with that in mind, I've decided to try my hand at animating it. Now, here's the thing about Clip Studio Paint, right? So if you open up a new animation file, you guys can't actually see the pop-up window, but basically it gives you a frame rate and a playback length, which is measured in frames. So you can see here that I actually have myself 12 frames. So that's because I figured out that this Gotenks walk cycle, and I can let me just leave it up here, kind of more discreet. The walk cycle up here has, I think it's I did the math on this, right? The walk cycle itself is 15 frames. I actually opened up Sprite. So the thing is, right, a Clip Studio Paint doesn't let you import the... Hang on. Yeah, Clip Studio Paint doesn't let you import GIFs directly. It just doesn't let you, right? And I figured this out while I was trying to make edits to a GIF that I liked. So what I figured out was that the best way to kind of get a read on a frame rate is to actually open it up in Sprite, which surprisingly enough doesn't have limitations to frames or width. The thing is, right, because Sprite is a pixel art animator, it's going to come out super grainy because it has to translate everything to pixels, but that's fine. We're not interested in fidelity, right? We're interested in looking at the frame. So if you loop this to around frame 16, that's when it starts to loop around, right? The ones that I match specifically are frame 3 and 17. So you can see that it kind of goes right back around. And if you go back to 3, that's the exact same thing. The camera angle is slightly different, but it's the exact same pose, basically, right? So that let me figure out that there were 15 frames for the loop. And since this is a video game, it very likely operates at 60 frames per second, which means that it is about a quarter of a second long. So I use this to basically suss out the fact that I would need a minimum of 6 frames for this, or if I'm drawing on 2s, which is to say I hold the cell for 2 frames, that would be a total of 12 frames. This is all to say that I probably overthought this, and it's going to come out, I haven't had a whole lot of practice with animation, right? Do vector layer. I'm going to rename this to 1. Yeah, so a quick intro to Clip Studio Paint's animation capabilities, right? So you've got the timeline down here. So this is kind of showing the animation, which frame you're on, and on which frames which cells appear. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to have 2 things, because I don't have, like I said, I don't have any training in animation. I have very limited training in art, right? I took art classes in high school. I had one time when I had like a particular like there is one instance I've ever had of like having like an actual specialized art class, right? Where the intent is not to just like, because a lot of the art classes in my high school, I don't know how true this is for everyone, right? Like I don't know I don't know like what other schools' expectations are, because like my curriculum was rather strange. But from what I understand, like most places, particularly for like art classes, they have a point in time. There's a point in time in the curriculum where they teach you how to draw stuff, but like they teach you how to like actually make art, and then the rest of it is just like you making art and trying to make that art. All right, so let's see. Assign set the frame, select layer 2. And do we have onion skin on this sucker? Oh, we sure do. All right. So, quick intro to the capabilities in Clip Studio Paint, right? So, you have 3 elements. There's the timeline down here, which you can use to flip between cells. Cells being, no, you can use it to flip between frames. Frames have cells, all right? So, it goes cell, which is the actual art itself, the frame, which is like the point in time at which the cell is being presented, and then there's the timeline, which shows all the cells in motion. So you can see here that, right, that like I have like 3 frames. Each frame is assigned to one of the 3 cells that I've made here. So it's just like that very fast motion, right? So that's a quick intro to like how my understanding, at least at this moment, of Clip Studio Paint's animation. I'm sure like if I keep at it, it's gonna get more sophisticated, right? It's gonna get a little bit weirder. It's gonna get a little bit funky. Yeah, I am hoping that I enjoy animating. I remember when I was a kid, I loved doing like little animations, flip note animations, Flipnote for the DS in particular. I really loved. I loved the hell out of Flipnote for the DS. Okay, so I think first things first is we do like a rough sketch of it. I think that works best as like a proof of concept, right? So I'm gonna. Oh goodness, did I close Sprite? I think I might have closed Sprite. All right, I'm gonna need to open Sprite back up. Yeah, because I am basically at the stage where like I'm definitely like not good enough to like freehand this stuff. I do need like a reference for almost every part. You can see here that I give myself like a couple of guideposts, so that's gonna be like what informs my work. Okay, so how we do this? I think I'll also use like the Milli pen. I feel like that's just the best thing I can do for myself. All right, so we're starting at frame 3. Yeah, frame 3. But yeah, when I was a kid, I loved like there was 2 big standout programs that I remembered from when I was a kid. There's this one that I used when I was very, very young. Yeah, very, very young, called Toon Boom. I don't know if it's still around. Is it still around? Let me hang on. I gotta pull up Wikipedia real quick. I'm sure like if it didn't fizzle out, it's come under a different name. A software acquired by Chorus Entertainment in 2012. All right. Launched producer. Wait, hang on. What? All right. Let's see. Yeah, rather than Toon Boom, I remember getting. It wasn't like Toon Boom. It was this one called like Toon-ish or something like that. Like that was made by the Toon Boom people. Like there was like a free trial of it or something that I got as a kid. I don't know where the hell I heard about it from. But let's see. Okay, so first frame is Let me figure out the arms, because like the thing is, right, as part of like my character, I generally have my arms like straight out, right? It's part of the power stance. Meanwhile, the Gotenks, you can see the Gotenks kind of has his arms bent. Okay. Let's do it like this, then. And for the hell of it, let's like make my head a little bit smaller. I know my head's huge, and not just because I take compliments very easily. Let's see. But yeah, I remember Flipnote and Toon Boom were the ones that I remember, or Toon-ish, whatever you call it, or animation-ish. Like, I remember the name Toon Boom very, very well, since it's like a very catchy name. But like, I don't remember the exact name of the program. I'm pretty sure it was like animation-ish or something. Man, whenever I think about like art programs that I used as a kid, or like, before I started streaming, right? I remember two of them very clearly. I remember Metabank Studio Paint, which was my basically go-to program for art for like a long, long time. And then there's what do you call? There's Sculptress, which is now that oh hey Ben. Yeah, howdy, how's it going? Yeah, Sculptress. I think that was absorbed by Autodesk and it's now like Maya or something. Which is a bummer, right? Because like it used to be like this free software. I feel like, whenever I hear that like I owned a piece of software that was like particularly like that's like now defunct, I feel bad for not like backing it up beforehand. I'm sure there's still some cracked version of it floating around in the internet, but you know, it would feel. I feel like that's, I feel like it wouldn't be mine, right? Oh god, the proportions on this are all off. It's at times like this when I regret not giving my Sona more like normal proportions. Granted, having more detail would probably mean I'd get even more confused, so having this is actually probably a blessing. Yeah, no. The arm is way too short. That looks better. Now this one. That's the thing as well. That's my biggest fear in animating is that I'll get like a little bit overzealous with the amount of detail in like one frame, and then I'll have to like live with the Sisyphean task of maintaining that level of detail throughout everything. I do know there are some neat tricks. The boyo in motion. Hey buddy, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna be moving. At some point. Soonish. At some point. Yeah, I actually did consider trying to use the Life 2D animation kind of capabilities, right? And actually, you know what? To kind of simplify our process, I want to try and flatten this as much as I can. Doing all right? Joining in on mobile. Nice. Thank you for stopping by. I always appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, let's try to simplify this, right? Been in Stardew Valley Hyperdrive. Nice. I hope you're having fun. Yeah. Sometimes it does. I feel like Stardew Valley is is for a lot of people. Like I understand it, right? I understand the basic appeal of it. Like there are like these sorts of games where the kind of like, I don't know how to put it, like, well, I'm sure it's different for different people, right? Like, I personally really get engrossed in games where it's like both there's like some degree of like chance and, well, not even chance, roguelites basically. I feel like roguelites are one of those games where I can basically just play them for hours like bubblegum. Like Vampire Survivor like games. I feel like those I can like understand super easily. Also, I don't know why I drew this foot just because I'm going to be replacing it with this other one. I feel like my legs need to be smaller. Not shorter, mind you, smaller. I try to avoid a situation from where I become too top heavy, right? Because I feel like that's going to lead to me having to be like weird allegations about like my proportions. Okay, no, we're not gonna add the little hoodie zipper. We are gonna add my rice. Also, we're gonna make them bigger. My biggest, okay, I think I'm gonna like preserve this frame. I feel like it would be in my best interest to do so because I'm immediately like busting it down. Okay, so here's the plan. This leg is gonna get bent. The ever shape shifting rice bag. Yeah, I'm just a protean mass of rice. I'm like if Oogie Boogie was made out of grains. Wait, no, that's actually a pretty accurate statement, isn't it? I'm like if Oogie Boogie was based. Man, it has been a long time since I've rewatched The Nightmare Before Christmas. For all I know, Oogie Boogie was based. Oh god, why? Something about the proportions of this just do not feel right. Alright. This is almost going to be like a perpendicular line, like perpendicular crossing. Oh god, yeah. Based on what? Based on carbohydrates. Yeah. I need to like find people who are like I need to find two VTubers, right? I need to like either make or find two VTubers to fulfill the trifecta, right? Because there's that one image, right, of like you're telling me a shrimp fried this rice and like apartment complex. I find it quite simple, really, and also based on what, right? That's like the trifecta of like people taking literal things way too like not way too seriously, right? But it's like a known bit. I feel like it's like a known enough bit that I feel like people would get the joke. Anyway, I need to find like an apartment complex owner VTuber, and also like I don't know. I don't know what would be good for base because then we could fill out the trifecta perfectly. Maybe like a scientist of some kind, having a secret base. Like I said, I do make VTuber models as a thing, so I could like just chemical like synthesize these people from thin air. Yeah, I feel like that's one of the things that I don't do enough as an artist. I feel like I don't like I feel like I don't take enough advantage of the fact that I can like very easily like draw like make fun of somebody by drawing them looking dumb. Like obviously I'm not going to do that because I would feel bad, but I know that I have that power and I feel like I don't use it enough. Like I don't want to do that, but I know that I can. Right? It's like it's like when you like It's like when all you have is a hammer, right? Anyway, that's probably never going to happen. I don't feel strongly enough about anything to like do that. Like I'm somebody who's like very like just about removed from all sorts of drama. So thankfully there's never been an opportunity for me to act like that. The fact that I can is a chilling thought. Anyway, okay, so that's pretty. I'm gonna label these. I also have a sprite open, right, so that I can like so that I can keep an eye on like what the frames are supposed to look like. Let's see. There we go. Okay. What was I doing? Wait, no, hang on. If I'm putting okay, no, hang on. Oh, wait, I think I understand it. Okay. If I'm putting this leg forward, I need to be putting this one not quite so back. I think that's probably also what was messing me up earlier with the other leg. Yeah, making sure that this one keeps to the ground is also important. God. You know what though? I just like this is not like me knocking my own confidence. This is me like having a dark and serious hope. I hope that this ends up looking like an AC Boo joint. If you've never heard of AC Boo, they are an animation group that is very famous for just having like the jankiest looking animations you could ever see. They often do like animations for music videos, which is where I know them from, right? They did one for this song called "Heart" by Inoue, and the plot of the MV is pretty normal, right? It's like a basically it's like a fake soap opera based on the contents of the song. That's like the plot of the music video. But the thing is, the music video itself is animated, and it's animated in such a profoundly, I don't want to say bad, wrong way. Like, it's the kind of thing where, like, you know that they're actually really good at their jobs, right? Like, I know they're really good at animating because you need, like, a degree in animation to know how bad you're doing it. All right. Okay, let's turn off onion skin for now. But yeah, that's why I really like AC Boo animations. Also, the music that they usually have for the animations is really good. A lot of EDM stuff, my kind of thing. All right, so here's what let's do. I'm going to hang on. I'm going to do this on once, and then I'll kind of duplicate them as needed. Now, is that a good idea? I'm trying to think here. What the best way would be to do this. All right, here's what let's do. Okay, we will do it on twos, but I will make it so that this first one in particular just gets moved a little bit forward, just a little bit. All right, so if you can use the if I use the onion skin, right? Huh. Oh, because I'm okay. So, quick note: the reason it wasn't showing anything is because if you edit the same cell. Okay, I see. I see where I went wrong. I did it on the same cell when it needed to be the same. When it needed to be different cells, but like similar frames. Anyway, I solved the problem. That's all. That's all anybody needs to remember. Okay, so then the next part is moving the right leg back and the right arm back as well. Okay. Let's see. Assign to select the keyframe or whatever. Okay, let's disable the onion skin for a minute. Okay. And we can probably bring this foot down. We can bring this foot a little bit further back. And then we can bring this other foot a little bit further down. Okay, so I think the best way to do that would probably be to grab these down here and then just like literally stretch them out. Meanwhile, I'll turn on the onion skin so I can actually see the last one. And then what I try to bear in mind is that like they all have to like connect to different parts, right? So this part here has to connect to a different part, or like this leg is like connected to like an invisible joint that I've established here. Like there's rules, basically. Okay, I'm gonna grab this from frame 2. Wait, oh crap. No, this isn't supposed to be here, actually. This just looks like a second thumb is the thing. Okay, now we just have to redraw these lines almost perfectly. No pressure. And then over here. Man. Apparently, over in the US, Shin Kamen Rider is airing in theaters right now, which, if it ever gets a Canadian release, you know I'm going to be in there. I've only very recently gotten into tokusatsu stuff, but like I really have like some degree of affection for like the original Kamen Rider, because I, before I actually started watching Tokusatsu, I actually read you can get this on Amazon still. It's like $40 for like 200 pages. It's on Amazon. You can get like the complete work of the original Kamen Rider manga. I think it was originally a manga. Let me double check this. Hang on. Okay. Okay, I see. So there was a okay. Okay, so it was originally a TV series which had character designs made by the guy who would eventually publish the manga. So the manga came later. Okay. I don't know. I figured like the manga would have come first. Although I guess that's just like anime fan brain talking, right? Like it has to have an anime. It has to have like a manga adaptation before it has like any animated or like live action adaptation. Yeah, I remember the first time I read about like a light novel getting adopted. I'm like, what the fuck is a light novel? To be fair, I'm still not 100% sure what a light novel is. I think it's supposed to be like a normal book, but like with very few words per page, and occasionally it has illustrations in it. It's like a children's chapter book, but like more complicated, from what I understand. Oh shoot! I forgot I forgot. I've ripped open my own stomach. Might be. Okay. A light novel is usually lighter than a novel and usually started as a web novel. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I do remember seeing like I think like that also happens a lot in like Amazon publishing, right? Like where it started off as a web novel, but it got like an Amazon audiobook adaptation. That happened to a web novel I was following a little while ago. That, or it's supposed to be a novella to a manga or anime series. Oh, okay. That's kind of interesting. It reminds me of that one phrase, right? It's like you got to drop a single before you make an album or something. I don't know if that's like an actual phrase. I just remember seeing it somewhere. Wait, this. Okay, so the vector properties of a layer don't carry over cells. That's interesting. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, web novels, huh? I feel like I've read much fewer web novels than I've read like web comics, right? Which makes sense because I didn't really like understand. I don't know why it never occurred to me that like because I knew about webcomics from a very early age, but for like a long time it didn't occur to me that somebody might publish like books on there too. But yeah, now I know about them, and I've found a few good ones here and there, but it's still more of a casual interest for me. Let's see. I got really into web novels over the pandemic. That's a good hobby to have over the pandemic, I feel. Because I feel like if you get into web novels during that time, in a morbid way, it's the best time because I feel like a lot of writers got a good chance to focus on their web novels for a long time during that period. I imagine a lot of remember how there was like a shortage of blue Yeti microphones during the pandemic? I feel like some people's podcasting must have been other people's like beginning a web novel. I couldn't be happier, honestly. I'm always happy when like there's a new surge of like reasons to create things. Granted, I wish in this particular case it was under better circumstances, but well, let's see. Okay, two things. First, we need to seal up the whole set we're creating. Wait, would it be possible for me to like grab this arm from the previous frame and then just kind of like slightly tilt it so that it can be used as the arm for the new frame? Huh. That's funny. Oh wait, no. I do actually want it to be a little further back because that kind of shows the torso rotating a little. Wait, the logo needs to go back as well. I need there's like so many weird rules that feel like I need to keep track of. But yeah, like I said, I want to get the hang of like animating in rasters rather than in pixel because I know that I can animate in pixels, right? My my alerts and everything are ones that I've made myself in pixel art. Like I know I can do that, so I want to be able to do it like this too. Oh wait, hang on. Uh, hmm. How does this look? Oh man. Oh yeah, that's rough. Good. Okay, so this is when it's finally tamping down on the ground. I feel like I need to like also squash the guy a little bit. The guy being me. That being said, okay, I think like this would be like when I start to pick up my back foot. Like in particular, right here, rather than like extending forward like that, I feel like what the better move might be would be to actually introduce a small bend here. There we go. Oh yeah. This weekend there was a fighting game competition called Combo Breaker that went on, and I felt like super lucky that I caught like, or rather than lucky, I felt like first I felt happy. Oh, thank you for the posture check. Okay, straighten up the back and drink some water. Thank you. So I really like this fighting game called Guilty Gear Strive. I still have like a long ways to go before I consider myself good at it, right? But I like the game. It brings me joy. And I wait, no, hang on. Like hang on. Let me like flip between these two frames real quick. It looks like I'm doing like a little dance. Like it's some kind of like hot step. Right, anyway. So Guilty Gear. I managed to catch like the first half of the top 8, which is like it's like the semifinals and then the finals for the winners and also the losers bracket, right? So I caught like the first half of it and then I went to bed. And then I found out that apparently like a bunch of shit happened right when I went to bed. Like I went to bed because like it looked like it was gonna be like kind of a wash, but then like apparently a bunch of different shit happened. Right? So like there was this one player who was the player called Tempest. He was in the losers bracket at first, I think. And the point of the losers bracket is that if you do well enough in the losers bracket, you can actually win your way back into the winners bracket. And so Tempest was basically at the very like almost near the beginning of the losers bracket. The later you drop out in the winners bracket, the further along in the losers bracket you get, right? So Tempest was kind of like near the very beginning of the losers bracket. And he just basically clawed his way back to the winners bracket, basically beating the face and ass of most of the people there until he actually like won the tournament. I thought that was awesome. I really had a great time, even though I only managed to get the VOD after the fact. Hmm. Let me take another look at the animation here. Heck yeah. Hey Cypress, how y'all doing? Thank you for your hard work. I'm Paps, a Ricing VTuber and artist, and we're doing a little bit of animation today. Rice moment, that's right. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do a walk cycle. It's a rather slow going. Yeah, thank you. I really hope this animation turns out well. Or if nothing else, it's at least coherent. But yeah, I hope you had a great time with Dark Souls, and thank you for dropping by. Let's see. Oh my god, are you trying to do the Gotenks walk cycle? That's right! Yeah, I love this walk cycle too. Like I really do like it. So I'm trying to imitate it in my own way. Which is to say I'm putting me in it. The Gotenks animations are honestly so funny. I don't know what it is about them. It's just a little dude. Well, two little dudes, if you want to get super technical about it. Ah! Yeah, that was my bad. I accidentally deleted the whole thing. Yeah, the swagger. Yeah. I feel like you don't get to see the walk cycles of a lot of fighting character games of a lot of characters in fighting games if you're doing it right. Because if you're doing it right, you should be running most of the time. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's very rare when I see like people like actually walk in a fighting game. Oh, I made a mistake. There we go, mistake fixed. I'm a genius. It should look just a little bit smoother now. I'm doing this backwards is the problem, I think. Hang on. Let me take a look at the sprites again. Or at the frames. A little further along. Okay, I see. Yeah, like at this point, he already has his leg bend. I'm going to grab this frame, and I'm also going to put it to copy and paste this outside of the border, outside of the animation folder. What the? Oh, wait, what is this? Loop play. No, wait. Is this because of onion skin? What's going on? Okay, I'm not sure how I... Oh my god, what just happened? Okay, I'm not sure why I'm seeing... Oh, it's because... Okay, I see. That's why. It's because, like, that those two are copied on top of each other. Okay, I see. Fastest way to make me lose my cool is to just, like, introduce an unknown variable when I'm trying to learn a program. Okay, let's do it like this then. Remove cell, there we go, and then we just assign cell 3 here, cell 4 down, cell 5 down. Yeah, no, you can see that definitely looks a lot more natural. Like, just already. Well, you could see it for about, like, a third of a second. But the idea is still there. Are you rotoscoping frame by frame or just doing it off the cuff? Probably a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B, because I am looking at the frames, because like the thing is, it's also a different frame rate, right? Like the game is presumably in 60 FPS. I'm working in 24 FPS. So I'm basically looking at like 3 frames at a time on the game's side. Listen, the way I've chosen to do this is extremely messy, but what can I do? I'm gonna remove these cells so that the onion skin doesn't bother me as much. Okay, I see. So in this one, he's like already lifting his leg up a little. Miss a bit on the back there. My bad. Okay. Can I copy and paste the knee? I feel like this is going to be one of those learning experiences where I say sentences that I never expected to say like a whole bunch of times. You know, like I never thought I would say, "Can I copy and paste the knee?" very frequently. Like that's not like an often that's like a maybe sometimes phrase for me. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's remove the little like um line here. And let's also like add the little like bit here for the flip flop. Or actually, hang on. If I may get a little bit bolder here. I keep forgetting the back part of the sandal here. Like I said, it's a good thing that I've been saving like the original versions of each of these frames. Otherwise, I would be so screwed in terms of consistency. No, something about here ain't right. This is like Digitrade walking. Yeah, like I haven't like gotten extreme enough to these angles. Let me borrow the one from over here. Man, I watched a lot of like the very original Dragon Ball, right? Like not Dragon Ball Z, but like the gag manga adaptation, right? And so I never really understood like much of what happened later in Dragon Ball Z. Like I understood Dragon Ball for the most part. I managed to follow along with it just fine. I think it wasn't until like the Red Ribbon arc that I started to get like super lost. Yeah, I think like I basically gave up on my watch through sometime around there because I was like, you know, I was like a kid who was trying to watch this. I didn't really understand much of what was going on. Is that too much of a jump? If I hold it on two, it'll probably be fine. I feel like you could jump in OG Dragon Ball at any point and know what Goku was up to. That is true. I mean, it really reflects a little bit badly on me because like they literally start each episode off with last time on Dragon Ball, right? Like it's the same way I feel about Toku. Like even it is like a thing made for children as a thing. So like because I think like it was only because I was a kid that I got a little bit lost, but like I feel like now I could basically jump in and more or less get what's going on. I feel like I have that power now. But like I said, it does reflect a little bit badly on me that like I got lost in the series that's like famous for last time on. The only show, weirdly enough, which I feel like I understood perfectly first pass was Madoka Magica. And I feel like that's the one like most people are like, wait, no, I didn't get what was going on at all. Or like at least a few people are like, what happened with the ending? What happened? I don't understand the ending. Explain the ending. 3 million YouTube subscriber now, please. Right? I feel like that one I understood the ending fairly well. Yeah, Monica explained YouTube thumbnail face. I should probably remove the fist back here just in case. Or rather than just in case, because I feel like it would make more sense. Okay, now to move on to 4. Okay. Man, if I could not for my life have like run one of those like such and such explained channels because I feel like I would like make something up and people would know right away. Okay, so here's my plan, right? I'm gonna hold the squash and stretch for just a little bit longer. Like I'm gonna leave the squash version for a little while, but I am going to. Okay, what's been the trajectory so far? Okay, forward. Okay, so I feel like maybe this one should almost be more forward than this one. And then this one should be just a little bit further back than this one. Okay, yeah. Because what we're going to do this time is actually grab this one, bring it back a little, erase this entire leg, bring this leg further up, or this foot. We're erasing this man's entire legs, but don't worry, he'll be fine. Yeah, they'll be back. I'll grow them back soon enough. Okay. Let me take a look at the animation again. Okay, I'm gonna. Hang on. Okay, I think I understand a little better now. And then, probably gonna need to like not bring back the original proportions, but I am gonna need to lift the rest of the torso up a little bit. And maybe like specifically squash the head. And the hood. Yeah. Since this is gonna be like the bouncing, right? The bouncing effect. Okay, flatten this up a little bit. Oh yeah. I read recently that apparently there are animals which I feel like this should have been obvious in retrospect, but I read recently that there are like zoo exhibit animals that prefer and like dislike to have human presence in their like not environment even like there are animals which enjoy being displayed more than others. With the main ones who enjoy being displayed being like parrots and elephants, which have zero correlation. But like the ones who dislike being displayed also have like even less correlation because it includes like ostriches, frogs, kangaroos, rhinos. There's like I feel like there's no real like thread between them, right? Yeah, I do not. They do not wish to be perceived. Like I don't know what would connect these things. I mean, I think I can understand the parrots and the elephants to some extent because like, parrots are birds of paradise. Their whole thing is like showing off a little, right? But for elephants, I don't understand. I hear that I do know that elephants are supposed to have like very human-like intelligence, right? I wonder if that's got something to do with it. Oh, here we go. That's how the knee's gonna go. I mean, it makes like additionally, I feel like it would make sense, especially if like different members of the same species probably like also have different tolerance levels, right? So who knows? Maybe there is an outlier of a frog who just loves getting human attention. I don't know. They could be out there. You never know. Yeah, like bodega cats, right? I know that bodega cats are general, like because bodega cats are supposed to be able to maintain a lot of human presence at a time. They're supposed to be like really well socialized, but that can look different for different bodega cats. At least I imagine. I haven't met enough bodega cats in my lifetime yet. I feel like I'm almost making one of those like those human evolutionary diagrams that show like fish crawling out of the ocean, then turning into monkeys, and then eventually into humans. I feel like I'm making one of those almost. Okay, we can probably move the pat a little bit further out. That's something that I actually wondered about my streamer name a little while back. My handle is Pabs. Would Pabs be considered one syllable or two syllables? Because I feel like you could do it a little bit of either way, right? Like Pabs, like no, I think it'd be one syllable. No, I do think it's one syllable. But I did wonder for a hot second. I did wonder where did we go? Okay, grab these and then pull them back. Oh yeah, speaking of animals that dislike humans, I read recently that like there's this like gang of orcas who are like bashing their heads against boats off the coast of Spain. And allegedly it's because like one of the orcas apparently had like a traumatic experience with a boat. So that orca started ramming the boats. And then because orcas are like extremely social animals, all the other orcas started like copying this behavior. They're sinking yachts. Oh my god. But yeah, so people are like, why the hell are all these orcas getting all up in our shit? But and like the best accepted theory is that one of them got jumped by a boat, and everybody else was like, "Nuh-uh, not our." I don't know what would be a name for like an orca. It's not like a. It's not like a dog where you could like call them like Barky or something, right? But yeah, I am slightly terrified of this fact, but also somewhat pleased. I don't know, like I feel bad for like the mariners who actually have to like deal with that, but at the same time, holy shit. Hmm. I have to wonder if I'm swinging my arms a little too wide. Well, whatever. I'll figure it out or I won't. Okay. So here's what let's do. We're just gonna grab this whole dude, leave the empty layer. We have a hole. There is a hole. Oh no, my hoodie and my pants are starting to become as one. I was gonna say like they should invent a hoodie that you could wear like a boiler suit, but then I remember that that's just like a kirigurumi. What are they called? Like footsie pajamas in English? Like I remember that some of my friends were like obsessed with those in high school. I don't blame them. They look very comfy, but I prefer like I feel like I would prefer like a non-fuzzy material. Okay. So now we Frankenstein together the original width of Pabs. Ah, what the hell? I'm just gonna take the whole top layer. A car. What was that one? That was that the one Dover Boys bit. A car. I'll steal it. Nobody will ever know. And it's like super loud when he says that. God, I miss the Dover Boys. I miss Tom. I miss Dick, and I miss Larry. All right, let's get rid of this one too. Wild how they only had like one cartoon. I feel like one was all we needed though. I'm not I for one do not want to see the Dover Boys expanded universe. Or extended universe, whatever. Like they gave us that one super good bit and then they fucked off forever, and I think that's beautiful. It's weird. Like it's weird considering how good it was, but like I'm glad it was that way. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna need to lift these guys up a little bit. I feel like this almost needs to be even higher. Yeah, no, this needs to be higher. It took them 40 years before they reappeared again in an Animaniacs short. Oh, they did reappear in the Animaniacs. That's wild. I thought they were like done for good. I'm happy though. I'm glad that they got a second shot, or they reappear and they like did eventually reappear. Like somebody didn't forget them. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I wonder. I do wonder if like anybody has like, how like some fans will be like, oh my god, they brought back such and such, right, for like a a movie about like comics or something, right? I do wonder if there are like fans of very obscure animations that like see it like being randomly referenced somewhere and are like, oh my god, there it is. There has to be, right? Like there has to be at least a few people like that. I hope each and every one of them eats well. Like honestly, I feel like I always really enjoyed whenever like something I feel like was obscure is acknowledged. Like that's probably not a very rare emotion, right? Like that's kind of I feel like that's the entire point of like obscure references is that you feel that connection with the person making them when they make them. Where is my arm? Here we go. Okay, is that the like? Okay, yeah. After that, he starts moving his arm forward again. Perfect. Hmm. Do I have anything like that? Do I have any like thing that I feel like that I hope they shout out? I don't think I do. I don't think like I'm that passionate about like obscure cartoons. Although I will say the closest I've ever felt with was when I heard that like Shaman King was getting a touch up season, right? Like you know how like they've done like a new version of Tokyo Mew Mew. Apparently they were either going to do that or they did that for Shaman King. The only cut deeper than that I like am even vaguely aware of is fucking Katakyo Hitman Reborn, and that was like one of the first animes that I watched. Lord knows how that happened, but like it like Katakyo Hitman Reborn was like one of the first series that I watched. I didn't even know Hitman Reborn got an anime. It had an anime adaptation, yeah. Like it had one. It didn't have like a revamped version like Shaman King. Did that actually come out? Like, did that come out? One of those comedy that quickly turns into shonen. Oh, for sure. I think it improved for it, frankly speaking. Then again, I was like 8 or 9 watching that, so not the best judge of character. Shaman King. Let's see, 2021. But that can't be right. It felt like just yesterday they announced it. Oh no, okay. An anime television series produced by Nasen Shibek aired for 64 episodes on TV Tokyo. Okay, no, that's the original run. A reboot anime television series adaptation produced by Bridge aired on TV Tokyo and other channels from April 2021 to April 2022. A sequel to the reboot has been announced. Okay. Let's see. Second series. Come on, where's the public critical or public response? Okay, let's see. All right, I don't see much in the way for commentary on like the reboot season. Still, I had like completely ignored might not be the right word. Forgotten doesn't feel right either. I was like under the impression that had never come to fruition. I thought that thing went the way of frickin' Mrs. Policeman and the Bear, or like All or Nothing. I don't know. It feels like at least one of these reboot series has to turn out to be like a pseudo Kickstarter scam type thing. I keep saying we haven't had like a proper Kickstarter scam for a long, long time. And I feel like maybe that's almost because like the people who kind of like the enterprising individuals who pulled those off have kind of moved on to like bigger ticket targets. You know, they're no longer conning people like outside of the industry. They've like moved into the industry and are coming and are conning them. I think Kickstarter has a bit more stringent rules to keep scams from happening. That's true as well. So I think what I miss is like the raw, unbridled like hope and hype that fueled almost each of these. Because I swear to God, I feel like I've seen an image. It probably doesn't exist. I feel like there has to be at least one person who cosplayed one of those fake Kickstarter shows. Please, God, I would feel so sorry for them, but I really hope it like an image like that exists out there. Okay, this is all wrong. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's a good thing that I made myself like so cartoony, because I feel like if I had tried to like go for more realistic proportions, I would be in hell right now. No, that can't be right. Like, it does have to be bigger. And the thing is, as well, right? Like, the counterweight to that, though, like I feel like there are benefits and there are cons and pros to it, because I do feel like the obvious pro is that I don't need to worry about like good, quote unquote, good anatomy so much. But like, the con is now I have an issue that I have to like obey the made up rules that I made for myself. Like, for example, no bending the arms, even though it might like help. It might help provide more of the idea of motion. Okay. So then after that, wait, no, hang on. Okay, foot crosses over. Oh, and then okay, interesting. Okay, foot crosses over. Okay, I think I think I understand this a little better now. Okay, we're gonna add a new cell. It's now time to bring back the original one. Uh, okay, we can bring back parts of the original one, but like maybe not all of it. Okay. So we're gonna have the right leg extended fully on the ground. And then we're going to have the left leg start to kind of like pick up the slack that the right leg did. So I'm just going to grab the right leg from this frame, remove the left leg back here, and paste it here. Why do I always forget the back of the sandal? What is that with that? What is that with me? Like, why is that one of my few weaknesses? Yeah, in the critical moment, I'll be laughing up in my evil lair, I'll have like the hero strapped to like a laser table or some shit. I'll be laughing my ass off, and then I'll try to like walk down the stairs and completely sweet bro and hell Jeff style eat pavement because the back of my sandal slipped out. What a way to go! I feel bad for this hypothetical future version of myself that I've created. On the other hand, that I could probably easily avoid that same problem just by, you know, maybe installing ramps around the place. It double positive. It's like not only have I made my evil lair more accessible, but I've also removed any possibility of tripping down the stairs and breaking my neck at a critical moment. Okay, remove this part here, remove all of this. Seriously, vector layers are the best. I cannot stop singing their praises. Now, on the topic of arms is a little bit difficult because now they've started kind of rubber banding back. Okay, let's just grab this one. Let me take a look at the animation. Yeah, no, I need to retain the kind of like keyframe here. Or like the position of it. That being said, I will edit it a little bit so that it doesn't create a tangent right here. Thinking back on those orcas again, though, I wonder if you could teach them to do any other handy tricks. As like a learned social behavior. I do know that like dolphins will like swim with like swimmers who go up near them, right? I wonder if you could socialize those little weirdos into doing your bidding. I don't know what good they would really be though. Obvious first thought is like train them to do crime, but there's very little crime to be done in the deep blue seas. It's not the swashbuckling times that it once was, right? Time was a fellow could just grab a flintlock and and go to the nearest port and earn himself some dirty doubloons. But nowadays, there's no swagger to it, right? There's no. You're basically you're basically in an apartment with worse Wi-Fi, and with the condition that if you don't do a good enough job, you and your friends all die. Well, no, like I'm sure like ships have like fail safes in case like some of the crew isn't like as strong as they need to be, but like it's basically living in a bad apartment with like really high pressure about your job, which is just kind of like normal living for the most part. I don't know. I feel like I could be suckered into getting on a ship at some point. I feel like if I had a midlife crisis, I would like go out to the sea. I'd become like one of those dudes who lives in a boat. I feel like that would be my midlife crisis. And again, you never really know when you're going to get your ticket punched, right? I might have had my midlife crisis already. I feel like they need to have like a better name for midlife crisis. I want to say like man cave disease or something, like, pathologize it a little bit, but I feel like that treads dangerous territory. Like, people are going to start making homeopathic cures to avoid buying a life-size stormtrooper statue. No, opening up that's opening up all kinds of bad doors. I will not be part of that. Okay. Okay, so say I were to loop this animation. Hang on. All right, so frame 6 will link it back to 1. Link this one to 2. Link this one to 3. Link this one to 4. 5. And 6. Wait, that's 11 frames. All right, well, whatever. Let's turn off the onion skin and see how this looks. Oh, wow. I am really hauling ass, huh? Hang on. Okay, so let's try this then. Let's try doing it on 2s, right? God, I really wish there was like a faster way to assign all these. There probably is, but I'm not like savvy enough to do that yet. Okay. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Let's see. All right, 5, 5. And then we add a third one, and then we add 6. All right, let's see how this goes. You know what? That's a much more reasonable pace. I will say that much. It does look like I have a little bit of a limp there, though. So, this is I'm pretty happy with this, like, for a first attempt. Alright, now let's see if we can't do something about the color of the everything. Might have to add like 1 or 2 in between frames if you want to make it smoother, but yay. Yeah, no, I think for something that I made in like, what is that, 2 hours? Wait, no, okay, so 6:30, now it's like 8 o'clock ET. Yeah, hour and a half more or less. Yeah, because I do feel like it's definitely like on the backswing that I feel like this is suffering a little bit. Like I feel like I should make this on the left arm move out a little bit further. I think I know why it looks like my leg is injured. It's because like I'm not like moving my hips enough. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'm gonna save this. All right. But yeah, I think now would be a good time to wrap things up for today. Who all is streaming right now? Everybody's like, I feel like half of the people that I know are watching Shin Kamen Rider. Meanwhile, I'm over here north of the border, and I don't know, just trying to chill. Let's see. Yeah, everybody's checking out Shin Kamen Rider. And then Spider-Man tomorrow. My God. Back-to-back peak. I mean, hopefully. God, I really am happy for everybody who's watching Shin Kamen Rider right now. I am going to hop on that train as soon as I can. As soon as I can. All right, but if that's the case, I think I'll just end things here for today. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Thanks again to Cypress for the raid. I will see you all tomorrow for some fan art. I think that's what I'm doing. All right, later. Bye.